Hello everybody, my name is Video Games plus Horror. And welcome! Oh, you thought you were ready? You thought you could handle it? Well, let me tell you, today we're diving headfirst into a world that will make your skin crawl and your nightlight a permanent fixture. Welcome to the world of SCP, where the most terrifying creatures lurk in the shadows. Entities so bizarre, so horrifying that the very fabric of reality seems to bend around them. These aren't your grandma's bedtime stories, folks. This is the real deal. The stuff that makes grown men weep. We're talking about anomalies that defy explanation, locked away by a secret foundation trying to protect us all. But sometimes just knowing they exist is enough to give you the shivers. And boy, oh boy, do I have a lineup for you today. Today we're counting down the scariest SCP monsters that will haunt your nightmares. And I mean them. We're talking about things that will make you question every shadow, every creak in your house, every weird noise you hear in the dead of night. I've delved deep into the SCP archives, waded through the redacted files, and faced the digital horrors so you don't have to, or maybe so you can experience them right alongside me. We're going to be looking at some of the most infamous, the most bone-chilling, the most nope, I'm out entities the SCP Foundation has to offer. So grab your comfort blanket, maybe a crucifix, I don't know. Whatever helps you sleep at night, because trust me, after this, sleep might be a luxury. We're going on a journey into the abyss, and some of these guys are nightmare fuel incarnate. I've seen a lot of scary stuff in my time, played a lot of horror games, but the creativity behind these SCPs, the sheer psychological terror they invoke, it's on another level. So, are you ready? Are you ready? Because there's no turning back now. Let's do this. Let the fear commence. Prepare for your sanity to be thoroughly tested. This is going to be intense. All right, kicking things off with an absolute classic, a true legend in the world of pants-wetting terror. We're talking about SCP-173, often known as the Sculpture, or as I like to call it, the reason I now stare unblinkingly at every statue I see. This thing is simple, yet so effective. Imagine, if you will, you're in a dimly lit room, right? Standard horror setup, and in the corner there's this concrete and rebar statue. Looks kind of crude, almost abstract, with these weirdly painted markings that almost look like a face. Kind of unsettling, but hey, it's just a statue, right? Wrong, so wrong. This is where it gets terrifying. SCP-173 is perfectly inanimate, as long as you're looking at it, as long as you maintain direct eye contact. You blink, your line of sight is broken, even for a nanosecond. It moves, and it doesn't just shuffle a bit closer, oh no. This thing covers ground with impossible speed, like teleportation-level speed. You blink and suddenly it's right there. Its stone-cold, painted face inches from yours, and you know what it does then? Oh, you're gonna love this. It snaps your neck, just clean, efficient, terrifyingly brutal. Or sometimes it strangles you. Either way, you're not walking away from that encounter, the sheer helplessness of it. You're trapped in a staring contest with death itself, and you know eventually you to blink. Your eyes will water, they'll burn, but you can't look away. Can you imagine the panic? The sheer, unadulterated terror of that situation. Knowing that a single involuntary muscle spasm is all that separates you from a sudden violent end. And the sound. Oh God, the sound. Those who've been in its containment cell and somehow lived to tell the tale, usually because there are multiple people taking turns not blinking, report hearing a scraping sound, like stone grinding against concrete. That's the sound of it moving when no one is looking. Just imagine, the lights flicker for a split second, a power surge, anything, and in that brief moment of darkness you hear and it's closer. How much closer? You don't know until the lights are back on, and by then it might be too late. It's the simplicity that makes SCP-173 so genius, so horrifying. No complex backstory needed, no grand motivations. It's a predator, pure and simple, with a hunting mechanic tied to one of our most basic, unavoidable biological functions. It's the embodiment of that primal fear of being stalked by something you can't always see, something that's always just out of the corner of your eye, or in this case, dangerous when it's out of your direct sight. The original SCP, the one that started it all for many, and for good reason, it's a masterclass in minimalist horror. Think about the D-class personnel assigned to clean its containment cell, usually 3 of them. 2 keep staring while 1 cleans. Can you imagine the tension, the paranoia? Did you blink? No, did you blink? I think he blinked. And then it's just the psychological toll must be immense. Knowing that any lapse in concentration, any distraction means instant death for you or your companions. It's a horrifying responsibility, a deadly game of statues you can't afford to lose. I remember the first time I encountered SCP-173 in game form, the sheer panic of trying to navigate, trying to find the exit, all while desperately trying to keep this thing in my line of sight. My eyes would be watering, I'd be screaming at the screen, "Don't blink, don't blink!" Oh God, I blinked, and then silence. Or, well, the sound of my character's neck getting acquainted with its own backside. It's an experience, let me tell you, a truly terrifying experience. The design itself is inherently creepy, that vaguely humanoid form, the unsettling face painted on it with Krylon brand spray paint of all things. It's like something a child would make in a nightmare, brought to life with murderous intent. It doesn't need to look like a traditional monster to be scary. Its behavior, what truly terrify. It preys on our vulnerabilities, our human limitations. And that sound of scraping stone will forever be etched into my brain. It's a constant state of high alert. You can't relax. You can't let your guard down for a single moment. The moment you think you're safe, the moment you get complacent, that's when it gets you. It's a perfect horror concept. It doesn't need jump scares in the traditional sense. The jump scare is that you messed up, that you blinked, and now it's over. The dread is constant, the pressure immense. So SCP-173, the sculpture, a terrifying start to our list. A testament to how sometimes the simplest ideas are the most effective at burrowing deep into your psyche and staying there, making you think twice next time you see a statue in a dimly lit museum. Just keep staring. And maybe bring a friend, or 2, or 10, and lots of eye drops. You're going to need them. Next up, we have an entity that takes the idea of being looked at to a whole new horrifying extreme. This is SCP-096, also known rather ironically as the Shy Guy. Oh, he's shy, all right. Shy until you see his face, and then all hell breaks loose. And I mean all hell breaks loose. This isn't just oops, I startled it. This is oops, I've signed my own death warrant and possibly the death warrants of everyone around me. Visually, SCP-096 is disturbing. It's described as a humanoid creature, usually extremely emaciated, pale, with disproportionately long arms. But its face is the trigger. If you see its face, whether directly in a photograph, a video recording, even a single artistic rendering of a few pixels, it knows, and it enters a state of unimaginable emotional distress. We're talking screaming, crying, babbling incoherently. You'd almost feel sorry for it, if not for what happens next. Because after a minute or two of this agonizing distress, SCP-096 will stand up, cover its face with its hands, and begin running towards the person who viewed its face. And when I say running, I mean it will stop at. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet. It doesn't matter if you're in a bunker miles underground, on a plane, in a submarine. It finds you. It has been clocked at incredible speeds, tearing through any obstacle in its path as if it were paper. The Foundation has tried. Oh, how they've tried to stop it during these rampages. They've thrown everything they have at it. Bullets, explosives, even other SCPs. Nothing works. It's virtually indestructible while in this enraged state. It just keeps coming. A relentless, unstoppable force of nature, fueled by what? Shame? Rage? We don't fully know. All we know is that if you see its face, you are marked for death, a very, very violent death. When it reaches its target, the person who saw its face, well, the reports are heavily censored for a reason. Let's just say there's usually not much left of the target, or anyone who tries to get in its way. After it has, with the observer, SCP-096 becomes docile again. It sits down. Its emotional state returns to calm, and it can be recontained until the next unfortunate soul glimpses its visage. It's a terrifying cycle of violence. There's a famous incident log, SCP-0961-A, involving a photo taken by a hiker. A single, distant figure, just a few pixels in the background of a mountain landscape. That was enough. SCP-096 breached containment, tracked that hiker down across continents and, well, you know, the sheer inescapable nature of it is what gets me. There's no hiding, there's no reasoning with it. You make one mistake, see something you weren't supposed to see, and your fate is sealed. The psychological horror here is immense. Imagine knowing that this thing is coming for you. You don't know when it will arrive, but you know it's coming. Every sound, every shadow would be it. The dread, the anticipation would be torture in itself. And then the inevitable, brutal end. It's like a curse, an ancient, unstoppable curse triggered by a glance. It makes you want to walk around with your eyes closed, just in case. The Foundation goes to extreme lengths to prevent anyone from seeing its face. Its containment cell is a steel cube with absolutely no surveillance cameras or windows. Any personnel entering must wear specialized goggles that scramble its facial features. Even artistic depictions are forbidden. The risk is just too high. One accidental glimpse could lead to a catastrophic containment breach and countless lives lost. The pressure on those responsible for its containment must be unreal. What makes the Shy Guy so terrifying is that inevitability. With SCP-173, you have a chance, however slim. Don't blink. With SCP-096, once that trigger is pulled, it's game over. There's no defense, no escape. It taps into that primal fear of being hunted by something relentless and all-powerful. Something that you inadvertently angered, and now there's no way to apologize or make amends. It's just coming, always coming. So, SCP-096, a being of pure triggered rage, a reminder that sometimes looking is the deadliest mistake you can make. It's the ultimate curiosity killed the cat scenario, except the cat is you, and you're not just killed, It's the kind of monster that makes you paranoid about every image you see, every blurry figure in the background of a photo. Sweet dreams, everyone. Don't look down or at its face. All right. If you thought the last two were bad, buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to meet a creature that makes them look like adorable kittens. I'm talking about SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile. And when they say hard to destroy, they mean it with the burning intensity of 1,000 suns. This thing is pure, unadulterated, unkillable rage in reptilian form. It is the cockroach of the SCP universe. If cockroaches were the size of a truck and actively plotted your demise. First off, its appearance. It's generally described as a large, vaguely reptilian creature, though its form can change. It's constantly regenerating, constantly adapting. You can blow it up, dissolve it in acid, shoot it into space. It just comes back, often angrier and with new, horrifying adaptations specifically designed to counter whatever you just threw at it. The Foundation has tried to terminate SCP-682 literally hundreds of times. The termination logs are a testament to both their desperation and 682's sheer bloody-minded refusal to die. And it's not just a mindless beast. Oh no, that would be too easy. SCP-682 is highly intelligent, sentient, and it hates all life, all of it, with a passion that is frankly terrifying. It can speak, and its interview logs are chilling. It expresses a deep philosophical contempt for humanity and pretty much everything else. It sees us as disgusting, as an affront to existence, and it wants nothing more than to eradicate us all. Cheerful, right? The sheer resources the Foundation pours into just containing this monster are astronomical. Its containment chamber is a specially designed acid bath, because that's one of the few things that can consistently keep its regenerative abilities in check, or at least slow them down. But breaches happen. Oh, they happen. And when SCP-682 gets out, it's a catastrophe. People die, lots of people. The destruction it can cause is immense. It's like a walking natural disaster with a vendetta. Many termination attempts involve pitting SCP-682 against other SCPs. The logic is, hey, maybe one nightmare can cancel out another, right? Sometimes this leads to interesting results. Often it just makes 682 stronger or angrier, or it results in the other SCP being utterly destroyed. It has adapted to resist reality benders, conceptual hazards, you name it. It just keeps living and hating, mostly hating. Imagine the fear this thing instills in the Foundation personnel. You're tasked with guarding something that wants you dead, knows how to kill you in 1,000 different ways, and is actively trying to escape its prison so it can do just that. And you know deep down that no matter what you do, you can't permanently stop it. You can only delay the inevitable. That's a level of existential dread that I can barely comprehend. It's not just a monster, it's a force of nature, a symbol of entropy and malice. There's a particularly famous quote from one of its interview logs where it calls humans disgusting. The sheer, unadulterated venom in its words, even when just read on a page, is palpable. It doesn't just want to kill, it wants to annihilate, to erase. It's a nihilistic nightmare given flesh and claws and way too many teeth. The kind of creature that makes you question if there's any good left in the universe, if something like this can exist. The attempts to understand its origins are fruitless. It's just a primordial force of destruction. And every failed termination attempt, every new adaptation it develops, just adds to its legend, to its terrifying reputation. It's like the ultimate boss battle that you can never, ever win. You can only survive the encounter and hope it gets contained again before it decides to end the world out of sheer spite. What makes SCP-682 so uniquely horrifying is its invincibility combined with its malevolence. It's not just a threat, it's an eternal threat. It will always be there, hating, adapting, waiting for its chance. It represents a kind of cosmic hopelessness. No matter how clever we are, no matter what weapons we develop, this thing will likely outlast us all, probably cackling while it does so. Or whatever the equivalent of cackling is for a giant regenerating rage lizard. So SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile. Probably an understatement of the millennium. It's the embodiment of unstoppable hatred and resilience. A creature that laughs in the face of death and then eats it for breakfast. If you ever hear that a large reptilian creature has breached containment, just run. Run fast, run far, and maybe pray to whatever deity you believe in. Though chances are, 682 hates them too. Up next we have a figure that is both eerily familiar and profoundly unsettling. SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. Now, Plague Doctors themselves are already pretty creepy, right? With the bird-like mask, the long, dark robes, it's an iconic, ominous look. But SCP-049 takes that inherent creepiness and dials it up to 11, then breaks the dial, and then calmly tells you it's all for your own good. Oh, the delusion is strong with this one, folks. SCP-049 appears as a humanoid figure, clad head to toe in the traditional attire of a 15th-16th century plague doctor. It's intelligent, it's articulate, it speaks in a calm, almost polite tone. It claims to be a doctor, and its sole purpose, it says, is to cure the pestilence. What is this pestilence, you ask? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because according to 049, pretty much everyone has it. And its cure, its cure is something you do not want. This doctor can sense this mysterious pestilence in individuals, and when it does, it becomes agitated, insistent that it must perform its surgery. If it touches a living human with its bare hands, and it always seems to find a way to do that, that person dies. Instantly. No visible trauma, just lights out. But it doesn't end there. Oh no, that would be too simple for our good doctor here. This is where it gets truly, deeply horrifying. After killing its patient, SCP-049 will then perform a crude surgery on the corpse using tools it produces from somewhere within its robes. Don't ask. You don't want to know. After a few minutes of this gruesome work, the victim reanimates, but they're not alive. Not really. They become what the Foundation designates SCP-0492 instances, shambling, aggressive zombie-like creatures, devoid of higher brain function, seemingly existing only to spread, well, whatever it is 049 thinks it cured. The irony, the horror, it cures you of life only to turn you into a mindless monster. And all the while, SCP-049 genuinely believes it's helping. It will express confusion, even frustration, when its cured patients don't behave as expected, or when Foundation personnel try to stop its vital work. I am the cure, it insists. The sheer, unshakable conviction in its own horrific actions is what makes it so chilling. It's not evil in its own mind, it's a savior, a deeply, catastrophically misguided savior. Imagine being in a room with this thing. It's calm, it's rational in its own way. It might even engage you in conversation about art or philosophy. But then it looks at you, tilts its masked head and says, "My dear fellow, I sense the pestilence in you. Do not be afraid, my cure is most effective." The blood would turn to ice in your veins, knowing that a single touch means death and then zombification. Nope, 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 nope. The Foundation has tried to understand the pestilence. They've tried to reason with 049, but its understanding of medicine, of disease, is archaic, nonsensical, and utterly terrifying in its application. It's like a nightmare version of a dedicated physician, one whose Hippocratic oath has been twisted into something monstrous. The atmosphere around it must be thick with dread. That calm demeanour is a mask for a truly horrifying process. Its containment cell is understandably designed to prevent any physical contact. It's often cooperative, as long as it's provided with test subjects, usually animal carcasses, though it prefers humans to continue its research. The ethical quandaries here are just mind-boggling. How do you deal with something that is both sentient and a walking biological hazard, convinced it's doing good? It's a philosophical and practical nightmare. The SCP-0492 instances themselves are terrifying, mindless, driven, and a direct result of the Doctor's work. They are a constant, shambling reminder of its cure. The thought of being transformed into one of those, of having your loved ones see you like that, it's a fate worse than death for many. It's a violation of the body and the mind. So, SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. A chilling blend of misguided benevolence and horrific consequences. A reminder that sometimes the road to hell is paved with good intentions and reanimated corpses. He's a walking, talking biohazard with a god complex, and his cure is something you should run from screaming. Just don't let him touch you. Seriously, keep your distance, or you might just find yourself cured. And finally, we arrive at our last entry for today, and trust me, we've saved one of the absolute worst for last. This is SCP-106, often referred to as the Old Man. But don't let that seemingly innocuous nickname fool you. This is no kindly grandpa. This is a being of pure sadistic malice, a creature that embodies decay and corrosion, and who delights in the suffering of others. If you see this guy, you don't just run, you pray hard. SCP-106 appears as an elderly humanoid, usually with a general appearance of advanced decomposition. Its skin is often described as rotting, and it's covered in a thick, black, viscous slime that corrodes everything it touches. Metal, stone, organic matter. It all just melts and decays in its presence. Imagine the smell. Oh God, the smell alone would be enough to make you pass out. This is not a creature you want to get close to, ever. One of its most terrifying abilities is its power to phase through solid matter. Walls, doors, containment cells, they mean nothing to SCP-106. It can emerge from any surface, leaving behind a trail of its corrosive black goo. This makes containing it an absolute nightmare. The Foundation has to use incredibly complex, constantly shifting containment procedures, often involving luring it because direct confrontation is usually messy and fatal. But the phasing and corrosion aren't even the worst part. Oh no, SCP-106 has a pocket dimension, a personal little hell that it can drag its victims into. And folks, you do not want to go to this pocket dimension. Descriptions from the few who have somehow escaped, and they are profoundly traumatized, paint a picture of a labyrinthine, decaying world, a place of endless corridors, rooms that shift and change, an overwhelming sensory torment. It's a place where time and space lose all meaning. SCP-106 doesn't just kill its victims quickly. It's a predator that enjoys the hunt, enjoys the fear. It will often play with its prey, stalking them, appearing and disappearing, letting their terror build before finally capturing them. Once in its pocket dimension, victims are subjected to unimaginable horrors, often for what feels like days, weeks, or even longer, though time flows differently there. It's psychological torture cranked up to 1,000. There's the infamous femur breaker incident, a recontainment procedure so horrific that the screams of the lure subject are used to draw SCP-106 back into its cell. Can you even imagine being that person, sacrificed to this monstrosity, just to keep it contained for a little while longer? The sheer desperation of the Foundation to resort to such measures speaks volumes about how dangerous and terrifying SCP-106 truly is. It's a choice between one person's agony and potentially countless others. The sounds associated with SCP-106 are also deeply unsettling. That wet, squelching sound as it moves, the gurgling, the faint cackling it sometimes emits. It's the soundtrack to your worst nightmares. And that grin, it's often described as having a wide, unnerving grin. as if it's perpetually amused by the terror it inflicts. It's not just a monster, it's a sadist. The psychological impact of an encounter with SCP-106, even if you survive, is devastating. The corrosion it leaves behind is not just physical, it seeps into your mind, into your sanity. The fear of it returning, of being dragged back into that decaying hellscape, would be a constant companion. It's a creature that breaks you, body and soul. Its motives? Pure, unadulterated predatory instinct and a desire to inflict suffering. There's no reasoning with it, no bargaining. It is a force of decay, a walking embodiment of rot and despair. The Foundation's best efforts are often just to minimize its contact with potential victims, to try and predict its movements, and to prepare for the inevitable breach. It's a constant, draining battle against a foe that can literally walk through walls. So SCP-106 The Old Man, a creature of nightmare that will corrode your surroundings and your sanity. Its pocket dimension is a place of unspeakable horrors, and its methods are cruel beyond measure. This is the kind of SCP that makes you want to seal your room in lead and never come out. A truly terrifying entity to cap off our list. May you never, ever encounter that black slime or hear that gurgling laugh in the dark. Okay, deep breaths everybody, we made it. We actually made it through that gauntlet of terror. My heart is still pounding. I don't know about you guys, these are just a few of the many terrifying SCP monsters out there. The SCP universe is vast, filled with creatures and anomalies that range from the bizarrely hilarious to the utterly soul-crushingly horrifying. What we've seen today is just the tip of a very, very scary iceberg. Each one of these entities brings a unique brand of fear, tapping into different primal anxieties, and honestly, I think I need a hug. And maybe a lifetime supply of nightlights. So now I gotta ask you brave souls who stuck with me through all that, which one scares you the most? Was it the unblinking dread of SCP-173? The inescapable pursuit of SCP-096? The unkillable rage of SCP-682? The misguided cures of SCP-049? Or the decaying nightmare realm of SCP-106? Let us know in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear what gets under your skin, what makes one to hide under the covers. Let's share the trauma, it's more fun that way, right? Misery loves company, especially horrified company. And hey, if you somehow enjoyed having the living daylight scared out of you, if you appreciate a good dive into the abyss of horror, then please do all the YouTube things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more spine-chilling content from me. Video games plus horror. It really helps the channel out, and it means I can keep bringing you more terrifying tales and horrifying experiences. Thanks for watching, you absolute legends, for making it this far. Stay safe out there, try to get some sleep, and whatever you do, don't blink, or look at his face, or let the doctor touch you. You get the idea. See you next time. See you next.